All right, so new campaigns require new offers. We're going to go through this today, but I wanted to kind of set the stage real quick. And this is a common misconception when it comes to understanding how an offer should be made. So I got a text message from a client, and this client said, "Hey, sorry for the late text. Can't seem to remember to do this except after I get home and everything else is done." I love this guy. He's actually been a client of mine for 3 years, something like that. So totally fine. But do you have a leaky gut program? And I think he meant a new patient special, right? That has worked in other places for leaky gut. Okay. When I look at this is a common problem. Now, this guy's been a client for a long time. He knows some of this, but sometimes it's easy to forget. So I want to ask you, what is the problem? And this is not going, let's keep this rhetorical. Just think about this, because I hate it when people ask gotcha questions. But why is this approach a problem? Why is the perspective, just the mindset of this request a problem? Okay. The biggest problem is when you're trying to promote something new, you can't approach this offering process of, hey, what's in this for me? Meaning, I want leaky gut patients. You can't approach it that way. That is not the way you should see your marketplace. Seeing marketing as a way to make more money instead of using marketing to share new solutions. Okay, we have to understand what marketing's role is in bringing us new business. So here was my response to him. I said, so here's what I need. What conditions are we targeting? What part of your treatment, meaning your protocol, has a hook, or in other words, is unique, or a new way of doing something? Okay, so the general framework we want to approach. I don't have a problem with you wanting to promote leaky gut. Like, that can be the inception of your offer, but you have to quickly turn to, okay, what is the framework? Here's the framework. 1, what problem can you solve? So in the realm of chronic pain and basically this niche that we're in, what is the condition that we can focus on? So we have to identify that first, and don't do like fibromyalgia and neuropathy and whatever. Like, don't do all these different things. You got to pick one. And I know that's hard, but you got to pick one. All right. Because by picking all of these other ones, it's going to dilute the message. All right. So the first one is what condition, what problem can we solve? The second one is, what new opportunity can we pose to this audience? Excuse me, to this audience. When you look at offers for, and we're not going to touch necessarily on these today, but when you look at offers for something like chiropractic, because the general public thinks that they know what chiropractic is, meaning no two chiropractors are different, you can't really create a hook. So you have to create a discounted opportunity. All right. This is why pretty much all chiropractic offers are discounting the cost. And then the conversion process starts or begins once you find your approach to education in the clinic. But in this case, we're talking about new offers, niche offers. What is your hook? What is the thing you do differently? And then, and this is not part of this text, but how can we make this a no-brainer for the end user? Okay, taking into account that they see other people marketing those same conditions, and those people, by the way, your competition is thinking about growing their business, not helping people. I know you don't think that consciously. Okay, I know that that's not the case, but I have, and this is not for everybody, but I've talked to enough people operating private practice, and it's hard. And when things are hard and when there's challenges, we tend to see things through our own eyes. So this is the default that most people are doing. So we want a no-brainer offer, something that would just make it almost risk-free for them to come in. Okay, and there's a lot of different ways to approach that, but just bear in mind these three macro components. All right, let's jump into the first type of offers. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I like test drive offers. I like test drive hooks, okay? This hook involves a credible new innovation, credible, right? That is the big piece. So we don't want to make claims that are ridiculous. We want to make claims that are credible. And we'll talk about that. Involves a credible new innovation that, when displayed effectively, leads to an increase in interest and desire, and ultimately action, right? So here we have three really great hooks, okay? I've talked about my love for the Neon Track. My backstory with Neon Track is basically I was marketing for Stem Cell, which Stem Cell used to be a credible new innovation, a hook in and of itself, but a tactic known as a tactic blown. And so when everybody comes into the market and they're all offering the same thing, then at some point in time, that it loses its appeal, the one thing by itself. So you have to adapt. Okay. The cool thing, when the first time I saw the Neon Track, I knew what it did. Like, I saw a person sit in it and I saw it go move away. I'm like, oh, it's traction. It's pulling the knee joint apart. I know what that does. That's amazing. Okay. Class 4 laser. Whether you're a high intensive laser therapy or a low level, the actual image and the demonstration is enough to create curiosity. All right. So I like laser for that reason. And then on the right, we have shockwave therapy. Shockwave therapy, again, it's a very cool device. These are things that demonstrate well, and we want some curiosity that leads to interest and desire. That's the whole point of this. Okay. So test drive hooks. If there's something that falls in line with this framework, this is a great way in the Neon Track to help people with knee pain. With Class 4 laser, to help people with joint pain. That could be shoulder, that could be plantar fasciitis, that could be neuropathy, whatever it does, and you guys know that better than I do, it can be a great way to hook the attention of that audience. Same thing with shockwave therapy, plantar fasciitis, breaking up scar tissue, creating angiogenesis for increased blood flow, whatever the hook is, like, these are great approaches. So these are the types of things we're looking for when it comes to test drive hooks. Note, I like 2 visits, and I'll make it very practical. I like it because it gives people a practical reason to come back on day 2. Okay. If you have them coming back and there's a little bit of a carrot you're dangling, they'll come back. Okay. And then 2, it really does pair up perfectly with the sales cycle. People that take the time to understand the actual sales and conversion cycle, if you provide them 2 opportunities to take a test drive, they're going to be deeper down the conversion cycle. It'll be easier to, quote, sell. I did an entire training on this day 2. So if you want to see that training, I've got an entire training on that. So I like 2 visits. That's why a lot of our offers are positioned that way. Okay. I'm not closed off to other ideas, but we're going to talk about why you should feel comfortable with the way I make these offers. Okay. Self-discovery hooks. All right. This hook involves a new solution to learning about a subject's current state. Okay. The potential of new self-discovery leads to an increase in interest and desire. So on the left, obviously we have the thermography scan. You see, normal blood flow on the right. You see restricted and, really bad vascular activity and a cooler temperature on the left. People want to know where you're at. On the right side, this is neurofeedback. I was going to say, what is it called again? Yeah, neurofeedback. Visually, there is something very intriguing about it. The problems that it solves are also very intriguing. We've had a lot of success at promoting this type of self-discovery hook. So it's very simple. Okay, if you have a way, in fact, I was down at there's a group called the UAC, Ultimate Achievers Club. I was asked to speak down there maybe 2 winters ago. A winter ago, I don't remember. And somebody was getting up and sharing some different ideas. And one thing that stood out was, what's the difference between a survey and a quiz? People like taking quizzes online. People don't like taking surveys. Surveys serve me. They give me, Sam, or the creator of the survey, information for me. Quizzes provide a discovery solution to find out more about the person on the other end. Quizzes are way more popular. Self-discovery hooks work. Okay. So if there's, whether you have, but it needs to be something conclusive like we're looking at. It can't be vague. It can't be complicated and confusing. In fact, there's another one for concussion. We did one for concussion, and it's got a visual diagram of what normal brain function looks like, and then it has images of what concussed brain function looks like. And the contrast, you don't have to know anything about what it actually means. Like a normal brain, it's very circular, it's very uniform. A concussed brain is very asymmetric and jaggedy and narrow at some parts and wide. It is stunning looking. And that level of self-discovery is a hook that will grab attention. So these are the 2 primary types of offers that, as you are looking in what you see in new technology, what you see in your clinic that you use, find out, does it fall into one of these 2 buckets? Okay, let's continue. Why offer a discount? I've said this before. If you have never heard me say this, I want you to understand the role. And this is Patient Stream's role too, by the way. And if you understand this role, it'll empower you to understand the rest of the process so you can grow your clinic. Okay. Advertising's job is to advance the sale only. You cannot make the sale with advertising. That is not what we're doing when it comes to like a service-based business, providing a service. The sale must be made by the service provider. All right. So there's a couple things I really want to drill into your head, because you can get in your own way of success by making some of these errors that people default to. They seem very logical, but they break the rules of psychology. And the first one is this: price is not a filter. Price is not a filter. Let me give an example. We have many times, and I value your services at a higher dollar amount than my advertising promotes it, just so you know. If you give somebody 2 visits, I understand that the monetary value of that, what you're giving them in exchange for what they're getting, is much greater than $47. I understand that. I totally get that. But the idea of increasing the price to only get qualified people is flawed psychologically. Okay, this is akin to if you were to go on a first date and the person didn't show up in an attractive enough dress or an attractive enough suit or something along those lines that you would just walk out the door before you ever entertained a conversation, right? At a psychological level, what you're asking people to do before they're educated by you, before they know anything about you, is you're asking them to like give, and these are tested dollar limits, right? Asking them to give you $100 for a person who is not educated on your protocol, whatever it is a way to make your conversions go way down. Okay, so price cannot be a filter. Communication, language, relating to people, that is your filter. If somebody's on the phone with you and you just feel, I mean, there's just that intuition that they're not a fit, you can say, based on what we've discussed today, I'm not sure that you're a fit for our program. Here are my concerns. And then you just let it go from there. And what you'll find is people, when you say that, they'll say, oh, no. I didn't mean to say that. Here's what I was trying to say. And now you've positioned them properly. Okay. Communication is your filter. Price is not your filter. No brainers. Positioned with proper context, create action. This is in line with price is not a filter. If we're offering 2 knee decompression sessions, or if we're offering a thermographic scan, what is one thing that we know? We know that the context of the offer made is getting people to raise their hands who have that condition, meaning I don't have any knee problems, so I have zero interest in getting into a knee on track. I'm not going to raise my hand for that. Understand? So understand the context. An offer made to a niche audience, it's going to get the people who have that condition to raise their hand. And that's the goal. That's the goal of advertising. That's what we want. All right. Let's move on. I can get a little animated about this. I come at this from a perspective of a person who's been advertising for like hundreds of clinics across the country. And right now, Patient Stream has about 100 users. And so I get to see a variety of things happening. And I only want to relate the information that's going to help you succeed. And this is what I need you to understand. And hopefully it's coming off from a perspective of I'm sharing this to educate and help you improve. That's why. Okay. A person who understands how to relate to people and meet them where they are will have the keys to scaling their business at will. This is so important. If advertising's job is to advance the sale, okay, and it can do that effectively, that means that if I can get people to engage in a conversation with you, to get into the clinic, to whatever that is, the results on the back end of that transaction are going to vary based on condition, or not condition, based on clinic. And it's going to vary widely based on a person's ability to communicate. Myron, what is his last name? Goldman, maybe. He said in a discussion with Russell Brunson, he said, the people who make the most money are the people who master the art of communication. Okay. So relating to people is all about understanding where they are on a spectrum of interest, meeting them there, then grabbing them by the hand and showing them, hey, you're in the right place, and then taking them to the solution. There are so many people. We'll go back to the dating example. There are so many people that get on the first date and say, hey, I kind of like you. We should get married. I don't know about you. I didn't ask my wife to marry me on the first date, even though I kind of wanted to, because she's a smoke show and, I liked her, but she probably didn't like me that much. And I probably would have lost any chance of the amazing family I have today had I taken and advanced the sale that quickly. Right? So it's a process. And this is why my offers mirror the conversion cycle. Okay. So understand that if we need to improve on communication, that is where we need to focus so we don't have a bottleneck on conversions. Note, to develop soft skills, okay, there's hard skills and soft skills. Develop the soft skills requires practice, drilling, rep, opportunity, right? Progress comes small initially and then exponentially with time. This is absolutely true. When I was coaching and consulting clinics, this was what we saw every single time. That first 30-day was so hard, repping, drilling, but man, you give people opportunities and then all of a sudden, boom, off they go. And here's a little trick. Here's a little way to shorten the learning curve. Okay. If you have a person with the wrong personality type who is greeting the patient, the new patient at the door, or who is the case manager, or who is in charge of any type of communication, you're going to really inhibit your ability to bring somebody along. They will know on a subconscious level that something is out of whack. Okay. These are not the only ones, but these 4 personality types have been proven as awesome communicators. And if you don't know where to find these personality tests, this is Myers-Briggs test. I think it's 16personalities.com maybe. I love personality tests from a perspective of like, I don't want to know what my sign is and that kind of crap. From a perspective of what a person's natural aptitudes are and then playing to their strengths. Okay. I have seen so many times when clinics will put a person who is not suited for that position and they will say, do this, take this training that Patient Stream has created, follow this video and just follow this script, and that person will flounder. And instead of understanding the actual source of the problem, they'll say, well, something's wrong with this script. It's like bull farts. I was going to say something else, but bull farts. That's not what's happening. You're putting a person who is not natural to this in an unnatural situation. Give a person the opportunity to thrive by matching a personality type with a job function, right?